Welcome to the KC Stars podcast. It's a podcast where we talk to people who are involved in the Kansas City film industry.
Yeah,
And our
awesome.
guest is Ron Worley, actor from Kansas City. You're actually from Kansas City, Missouri.
Um, I've lived in Kansas City for 30 years. I was born in Baltimore and then moved
Oh,
to Wichita when I was in junior high.
okay. I assumed you were local here all the time, but you definitely live in Kansas City, Missouri now.
Yeah, well, I live in Westwood, little part of uh, Kansas City. It's in Kansas, technically.
Oh, I thought you lived up by the art industry, the art gallery. I guess that's you worked there, but you don't necessarily live there.
Right. Yeah, I worked at Hallmark for a long time.
Yeah. Well, very
Yeah.
good. Well, tell us about your connection to the Kansas City film industry.
Yeah. Um, so I guess about 3 years ago, my friend Gray was shooting a project and asked me to be a Civil War soldier. And I did that and it really enjoyed it and thought, hey, maybe I'll pursue acting. And kind of started doing some searching and asking around and got into Andy Garrison's studio, the actor trainer studio, and have been taking classes there for 3 years. And then the first year and a half of classes, I didn't do a lot outside of class. But then I retired from Hallmark and had a little more time on my hands. At that time, I was doing the classes in Hallmark full time, and I have some real estate business. Once I left Hallmark, I had some more time and started seeking out roles and have been part of all sorts of projects, film projects and theater projects around Kansas City. Have got exposed to this great artist community, made lots of great friends, seen lots of great talent. I'm really proud and happy Kansas City has such a community. I really got into it starting with the IFC, the Independent Filmmakers Coalition here in Kansas City. They meet once a month, and it is a great networking event. Um, Great way to meet other people making films, acting, things like that.
So, what drew you to get started? I mean, I know you were exposed by your friend as a Civil War reenactor or something
Yeah,
to that effect. And
yeah,
why did you decide to take classes? What is it about it?
yeah. Well, I've always my whole life had a passion for film. I remember as a kid watching Citizen Kane and just being blown away. I thought about that movie for years, still think about it. And so I actually got a theater and film degree from KU, but it was more on the film production side. I worked at a television station and did some production for a while before I started at Hallmark. Um, at that time, I was curious about acting when I was young in college. Um, I'd say I just didn't have the passion for acting. Um, and then Jeremy's project kind of reignited that interest and passion. And I was looking for something creative to do. Hallmark is a real creative environment, and I was telling other people and children to be creative, that everybody's an artist, and decided I needed to be more creative myself.
You took your own
And
advice.
yeah, there you go. And talking, of course, I think like most starting actors, was scared to death of getting up in front of people. A little experience, I at Hallmark spoke in front of people, um, but to act, I was pretty intimidated, but kind of got the courage up and went to some classes and slowly got comfortable. I'll say got comfortable with it, but I'm still not 100. I'm not, and probably never will be. And I think most actors are the same. 100% comfortable just getting up and acting. It's intimidating, for sure.
Do you like to watch yourself on film?
No. I do watch myself on film because I learn from it and I see, you know, and Andy tells me quite a bit in class, eyes up, you know, and I hear that and I try to do that. But when I see the film and I see that I'm looking down too much, that's a far better teacher than someone telling you, you know.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, I see why you got to get eyes up, you know. People got to see your face. That's where the acting happens mostly, you know.
So when you watch yourself, you're not watching to enjoy the movie and to see yourself on
That's right.
film. You're watching to critique yourself.
Yeah, I can't enjoy. You know, I occasionally, maybe I can't say 100% don't enjoy it, but I don't watch myself to enjoy it for sure.
It's so funny. I've talked to so many people that say similar things to what you just said, and I love it because I see myself using the word ain't. I've never used the word ain't in my life, and I'm using the word ain't. I think it's hilarious. And then I'm crying over a dead girl. Well, the girl's sitting three down from me, and like it's all
Right.
hilarious. It's like hilarious to me. Like I almost laugh with joy as I watch it because I know none of it's real. I just love it. I don't critique myself at all.
Yeah.
That's why you'll be a
Yeah,
better actor, or
that's a
maybe you already
gift.
are.
That's a gift. You know, I know you, Kyle. I know you're very talented. But I see all my mistakes when I watch, you
Yeah.
know.
No, I
Can't
think you're a
help
very good
myself.
actor. Like I said, I hope that someday you'll watch it and you'll be like, that was so good. I'm just going to rewatch it and enjoy it.
Maybe someday.
So what are you trying to accomplish as an actor? Like, if 5 years from now you had accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish, what would that be?
To be an accomplished actor, and that means um, and to do what I'm doing now, to be able to bring something to a project, to be part of this great group of people. And you know, at this level, nobody's in it to make a paycheck. We're all in it for the passion and to create something beautiful, create something for other people to enjoy, maybe hopefully move somebody else, and to be part of that collaboration, altruistic, beautiful thing, really thrills me. Um, so as far as like ambitions 5 years from now, I don't have too many. I just want to continue to be part of this community and continue to make you know, art, and hopefully other people find it rewarding, and hopefully, you know, move other people.
I like it. I over the years, and I haven't been doing it tremendously longer than you, but a few years longer. Um, but one of the things I've noticed is the goals of the people are all so dramatically different. Where some people are like, I want to live in Kansas City and travel for roles and make a living at it. And other people are like, I'm living my dream. I have a job where I'm making money and I'm still able to create and all of that. And I just love hearing people's goals and I think it's fascinating. Yeah. So basically, from what you said, could I paraphrase it to you're already living the dream that you have?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm feel so thankful that people actually want me in their projects, you know. So flattered that somebody will say, yeah, you know, I want you to be the father in this, or, you know, whatever character I might be able to portray. It's a wonderful high, you know, it feels really good.
It's awesome. But when imagine you've done some auditions, and your auditions where you feel like they've gone the best. What was your preparation project process?
Sure. Where they've gone the best is where you, and I'm the most proud, is where I take lines. So I use Backstage a lot to look for auditions. I use a lot of sources, Facebook, but anyway, where you don't even know the full project, the scope, the movie, the play. They just send you sides, and it's just, you know, maybe 2 pages of this scene. And from that, you have to create an entire character. You can't just send in an audition um, of you just reading it. Uh, so, you know, to start from scratch with just those 2 pages. Think of who this person is, where they live, what they like, how they talk, their aches and pains, their life story, and all that, and put that into an audition. There's one audition I worked, and some of these auditions are national audition. I've never got a national role. I continue to, I would like to get a big role. That'd be rewarding, but some of them I know they're getting hundreds of auditions from all across America. Um, and so your audition tape has to stand out. Um, and so one of them, there's quite a few I'm proud of. There's one in particular. I worked on this character a long time. I came up with this lawyer who had some quirks about him and all that. I didn't get the role, but I'm proud. I sent them a YouTube link, and you can see how many times they watch it and for how long they watch it and how often they watch it. And I'm just proud they watched it a bunch, over a series of days, which tells me, they watched it and showed other people. And it made me, I got down to the final few probably. I didn't get the role, but anytime they watch my audition tape multiple times over several days, I feel really proud. Like I did something that they found valuable.
That's awesome. Awesome. What do you like most about being an actor? Like what do you like most about it or what you've done so far?
Boy, there's so many things. If I had to pick one thing, it'd be the people I've met. Um, boy, uh, as a group of people, actors, filmmakers, theater people, great people, just the warmest people. I was a little leery. Um, the only, I thought back to high school when the theater group was a clique, and, I wasn't in theater at all in high school. And, there was the cliques, and I was afraid it'd be a little bit like that in Kansas City. I didn't know
Hmm.
um, how welcoming the group would be. And so I started at my first IFC meeting. They meet at the Bird every third Wednesday. Um, Everyone was so welcoming. And then I think the first time I really got into the scene, I did the one night stand challenge. They just, I think I just submitted my name to a general list where people could take the name off. And I got on a project, and it was so much fun, and everyone was so nice. And I think it's because, like I said earlier, it's a, I've heard, stories from New York and LA where actors are a little more cutthroat, maybe. I don't know. But here in Kansas City, I have not met a bad apple yet. Everyone has been warm, welcoming, accommodating. They want you to succeed. Um, so that top of the list of things I've gotten out of the acting experience here.
This is your interview, but I want to add to it. I
Yeah,
have
please do.
I have met people that there is no way I ever would have met
Yeah.
otherwise. I mean, I say opposite of me in so many ways, and I have absolutely enjoyed it. I have enjoyed being on projects with people that are different from me. I'm also
Hmm.
very liberal, but yeah, like being on people that are very different than me, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it because
Mhm.
you get a chance to interact with someone who grew up in a totally different way than you did, who thinks different than you, but you're on a team together and you all have that in common. You all want this project to be the best. Whether it's a competition or a movie, you all want it to be the best. And so people really should encourage each other because that's how you make a better project. You have everybody working together and helping each other. And I've taken advice from people multiple times on set. I've given advice as well, like trying to make it better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. All those people from different circles you'd never, come across otherwise, coming together with a common goal of just making this project a
Mhm.
success. It's pretty wonderful.
Yeah. How do you spend your spare time when you're away from acting?
Well, I have some rental properties and flip some houses. I've been running down to Lawrence a lot. We bought a house that needs everything. It's a mess. Our son's going to KU, and him and some friends will be living in it. So that's been taking up a lot of my time lately. And then, I like to get out, go to shows, have fun with friends, and get out to the nature, hiking, get out to the
Yeah,
lake occasionally.
that's wonderful. About how many projects are you in each year?
It is growing quite a bit. So this is really, I really only actively started looking for roles about a year and a half ago. Um, so last year I was in less than a dozen, maybe 10 projects. This year already, I've probably been in a dozen or more projects, film and theater. Last year was my first theater experience of my life. I was in a play for Fringe, and then this year I was fortunate enough to be in two plays. This spring I was in a play called Once Upon a Time in France, and then I was in a play for Fringe called Hometown that was real rewarding. Both those experiences were unbelievable. And lots of smaller film projects, um, but a few full-length feature film projects as well.
Did you have to audition for every film role you ran?
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah,
No, like sometimes in Kansas City, you get to the point where you know people and then they just call and ask.
that happened on the festival, like the One Night Stand and Face Off. IFC has events like that, sponsor events where everyone gets together. So on those, I hopefully will continue. Somebody will ask me to be on their team. That's, always rewarding. But on the films, they pretty much audition on most of them.
Okay. Yeah. What was your last project that you worked on?
Um, I just finished the Fringe play, Hometown,
Okay.
and just my small part in a film called I'm Tired of Hurting People. Just finished up last week. I'll be working with Robbie Lopez this Friday. Looking forward to
Oh,
that.
wow. That's coming up soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that a project where maybe you murdered someone?
It's not actually.
Oh,
This is
yeah,
a
okay,
different
okay. I
one.
thought you were talking about the same project we were on where you killed me with a hammer, but no.
No, this is a different project with Robbie this Friday. We've been having a lot of fun with it. It's so much fun.
Awesome.
Um, we just we filmed about 3 weeks ago. Um, I'll tell you, it was the funny. We filmed in it. So my character is kind of you know, a little wealthy, a little intellectual. And so I was dressed in kind of a polo shirt with a sweater tied around, and we were golfing. Um, and we were in a park just east of Troost. I've never golfed before in my life, but I was just supposed to hit this ball into a pond that was 200 feet away. And I picked the biggest golf club out of the bag and I smacked that ball. I had no idea how far a golf ball can go. It went over the lake and whizzed by this guy's head. I'm like, sorry, sorry. And this guy, I should say, was really muscular and cut. He had no shirt on, just kind of a tough guy walking through the park. And he was looking at me and I was like, oh my God. So I apologized and all that. And he just kind of looked and kept walking. And then so we reset, and I think, okay, I'll do it lighter this time. I hit it, and it just and it bananaed, and he'd made it 80 feet, and it bounced and went right by his head again. He was upset, and
You said,
can't.
okay, time to go, everybody.
Yeah, he went. He got the ball, and he was headed for us, but he didn't see Robbie and somebody had the camera and everything. And he was upset until he saw that we were filming. And that melted him. I was like, I'm sorry, sorry, sorry. We're filming a movie and I know nothing about golf. And he was like, oh, you're filming a movie. What's it about? What you doing? And so um, he was very interested in what we were doing. So that saved us.
That's awesome. I have a
Yep.
couple things that I usually ask. And the first one is, if you were going to recommend barbecue, you've been here 30 years.
Ah,
Someone
yeah.
says, I only have time to go to one place, so you can't do. I'll get beans here and barbecue. So no,
Right,
you go
right,
to
right,
one
sure.
place. Where would you recommend?
Oh, that's tough because, like you say, I'd have to put Jack Stack at the top. Um, One place, Jack Stack is the best overall experience and taste and all that. The sides, all that.
Yeah, very good. And I've taken people to Gates or Jack Stacks whenever they're from out of town in general.
Yeah, yeah.
And LCs too. I love LCs.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
We're
those
fortunate.
are all good.
Yeah,
I have one more thing for you. Well, actually, I have more than one more thing, but one more of the things I wanted to make sure I went over.
yeah.
Let me see here. Sorry, let me get this stuff out of the way. Always a rough transition on this part. Thought I had done it already, but evidently I hadn't. All right. All right. Tell me about this picture here.
What was going on that day? Hilarious. So this I At Hallmark, it's a great community. And in my office, I worked with some of the best people ever. Um, and they had brought in some costumes. I don't even remember the event. Was it Halloween? Maybe. Um, and they'd brought in some costumes and they were looking for somebody to wear I guess that's Elmo? No, it's not. Who is
That's
that?
Elmo. Yes, sir.
No. Yeah.
I don't know if I should call you sir when I see you in an Elmo, but I still called you sir.
Awesome. No, that's just a reflection of how much fun I had at Hallmark and that kind of environment that was there.
That's
That was a
awesome.
regular work day.
That's just what you wear.
Yeah.
Let me trying to get this one out of the way. What about this one? What's this from?
There's a couple great guys there. Um, that is Frederick and Mason. And I'm so fortunate I met them in Andy's class when I first started, and we became pretty fast friends. They writer and directors of some really great projects I've been in. This, yeah, I believe, is for the One Night Stand Haunted House, where they want. So, One Night Stand is you make your entire project in one day. At 8 a.m., they give you a line and theme and some other things that have to be in the movie. You write the movie, you film it, you edit it, you get it to them by 6:30 p.m., I think. And then they show all the films at 8 o'clock. And then there's some awards. Uh, and so their film, Haunt House, won first place for best film.
Wow,
They did
that's
a great
great.
job. I got to be part of that. You know what? That's not me. That is actually my twin brother.
Oh my goodness. You're no, okay, so he's the evil twin.
Yeah, it depends on the day. So
Where
we're
does
always
your
goofing off.
twin brother live? Does he live in the area?
Yep, he sure does over in Hyde Park.
Okay.
Just actually north of Hyde Park. So yeah, we're always going out to Colorado hiking and goofing off. That captures his spirit pretty well.
That's hilarious.
There's my son. Yeah, San Diego Zoo. That was a really fun trip. That was for his birthday. We had a great time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I always like the pictures because it's so interesting. I saw the Elmo was the one. I showed it first. I saw that and I thought, what in the hell is this? I wondered if it was from a role, actually.
Right.
Played
No, there
Elmo in a
was
film.
multiple. So somebody at Hallmark just has all these costumes and brought them in. And there was also Cookie Monster. And, I was part of a group of people that paraded around Hallmark in all these costumes.
That's hilarious. Um,
Yeah.
what do you think makes someone good at something?
Passion, commitment. They're enjoying it. You know, I don't think there's any great baseball players that hate baseball or, great actors that hate film. I think somebody got to love the subject that they're in. I love it enough and have the perseverance, dedication to put the time in and do what it takes to be good at it.
Good. Anyone on set that when you see them, you've worked with them a lot, and you think,
Hmm.
I am so glad they're here. This is going to be a quality project.
Oh yeah. Um, Nicole Hall is one that pops to mind. I was in a project with her last summer. She really is a quality actor, really, devotes
She is
a lot.
great.
Yeah, yeah. Um, there's just, and Mason and Frederick are my go-to guys as far as creative, smart. They just really, I think that they each have some incredible talent. Then together, they are such a great team. I'm always, anytime they want me to be in anything of theirs, I don't need to see the script or I'll do it. I'm pretty fortunate that I started class at that time and they were also there. And we got that friendship.
Great. Has there been anyone that you haven't gotten along with on set before?
Boy, I'll put nothing springs to mind. But let me think. Um, I wouldn't, classify it as not getting along. There are some actors that have wanted, I'll say, no one I wouldn't act with again. But there have been some actors that wanted me to kind of do their job for them, where they're like, they have their lines, but when you deliver your line, will you do this? You know, and because then it gives me a reason to do something. Um, and that didn't, and so I was like, no, I tell you what, why don't you find a reason and why don't you take what I'm giving you and respond to that instead of trying to make my behavior fit you've come to the set with already your idea of how you're supposed to do this line. You need to, for me, this is, all actors have their different thoughts about acting. But for me, you need to come open to what your partner is going to give you. Um, and then, after you've done it a couple times, um, you may block it different just for the mechanics to work. But, that is one thing I don't appreciate is was one actor tells me how to do my line or tells me to do something so they can, you know, do their role better.
Yeah,
Um,
I
the
hear you.
only thing I can think of that really um, wasn't, great experience for me.
Well, I kind of think like you. I mean, you have an idea of how you're going to do your role, but when you get there, if you haven't rehearsed, when you get there, you got to take what you're given. And you can
Sure.
overreact or underreact or react, but it's kind of like your
Yeah.
decision.
And I'll
Um,
say you can do your homework on your character and you can know your character well to where I know what my character will respond to whatever's going on. Um, but to come knowing someone else, thinking someone else's character, already defining their character,
right.
probably not the best route to go.
How do you get, like, when you see the paper and you have the lines, how do you get emotion to it? You were just talking about knowing your character, knowing how your character might respond to something. How do you get to that point?
Um, it's multiple stages and don't rush it. For me, this is all obviously from. So just read it cold, read it cold. Read it a few times, and that first time you read it is really important. It's the only first time you get, and so if you something strikes you as odd or powerful, write it down. Um, observe how you feel when you read it for the first time. And then you want to read it to look for treasure, magic, Easter eggs, whatever you want to call it, um, insights into your character, what they say, what they don't say. And then for me, I really got to memorize the lines and hear them before I really start building a character and know the lines. So what I'll do is I'll memorize it on the page. I'll just cover it up, go through, you read your partner's line and say your line, check it. and then I'll have it recorded with somebody. Um, and then to listen to it, they say their line, you say your line. Um, and then do it so much that your brain doesn't have to spend any time thinking of what's my line. When your brain is free to be creative, then you can start doing those lines, running around the house and doing them. I like to do different things, working out and doing them. Do your lines in different environments. And then eh, there's lots. I like to take a sentence and each word of the sentence, I will stress it, it'll be the important word, you know, and that has no bearing on the final, what the actual important word of the sentence is, but it helps me find the rhythm and helps me find what's important in that line. Um, and lots of times I'll surprise myself when I say a line different. I'll think, oh, that really works for me. The character really would respond to that word big or red or whatever the word might be. Um, and then, of course, once you have done all you can for yourself, total different level when you get in front of all the other characters and you're doing the scene. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
especially if you have to coach all of them on how to do it. Notice.
get out of here.
So,
But you do need to be open to changing. So you do all that work and you create your character, and it's a big difference if it's theater or film. So theater, you pretty much have your character because you are more of the final say in a play. You're the one out there. There's not an editor. It's not a director saying, "Cut. We're going to do it this way." When you just do it on stage, that's it. But in film, it's really the director's vision. And if your character's wrong, according to the director, then you got to change it because it is ultimately the director who picks which shot and the director who um, guides the editor. So you do all that work, you create your character, but in film especially, when you show up to set, you have to be open and flexible because your character now has to be influenced by all what everyone else has come up with and what everyone else brings to the set.
that kind of makes me want to ask you about rehearsals. Do you
Mhm.
like the rehearsals together, or would you rather it be more organic? As long as you know your lines and the other person knows their lines, would you rather it be organic where you can play off their emotions or have it more rehearsed?
Rehearsed. Yeah, I'll take all the rehearsal I can get. I like rehearsal. If you say that, but often many times that first time you do it is the magic. Lots of times that first time you all get together and do it. Um, not, there's something to that first time, but um, in rehearsal, so many times you find a way to do something that is golden, that really works for the story and really works for all the characters involved. And that only comes through rehearsal with the other characters.
What do you think the hardest part of being an actor is to people or to you?
It is, I'll call it, simply staying in character, um, especially when uh, outside influences want to pull you away from staying in character on a film set. Um, doing the same line 40 times, especially if it's a strong emotional line, or doing it only twice, but you've been sitting around for 3 hours talking to your friend about sports or, politics or whatever, and you're in that world, and then you're on set, and here you got a minute to get into that emotion. You're like, somebody who just lost their brother, or you have to get to this dramatic level, and give something to the character. So it's that's for me to stay in character and jump into character quickly is
Well,
difficult.
kind of my follow-up to that is like if they're filming something, and let's say that they're going, you don't know how many takes they're going to do, but they're going to do 8 takes. They're going to do, if everything works out perfect, there's three of you in the scene and they do two
Hmm.
with everybody where you're in the shot, and then two close-ups with them that work well. It could be you do three or four if people mess up, but two here, and now they're on you for two. And your scene involves that you're supposed to be crying and showing heavy emotion.
Hmm.
Are you going to show the same level of emotion all 8 or 10 times, or are you going to show that high level of emotion only when you're on screen?
I'll try to do it 8 or 10 times.
Okay.
Um, and I think that serves me well when the camera's on me and it's my turn. Um, if I've been doing it for 6 times, I would perform better than if I'm just giving it half-assed, 50, say I'm doing it 50% 6 times, and then I got to hop up to 100%. I'd rather just try to be 100% all the time.
That's interesting. Just because I've seen people do it both ways effectively, but I was just curious which way.
Well, I'd also say I'd certainly appreciate other actors giving me 100%. When the
Gotcha. Yeah.
camera's on me and they have to deliver their lines, how can I deliver my lines at 100%? If you're telling me, my grandmom just died, I would really appreciate you being 100% when you tell me. It's going to help me in my, role.
Yeah, I like it. Um, in this, you and I are roughly the same age. I say roughly, I think I'm a couple years older than you, but there's other people that are just like us. What makes, and what makes us stand out? What makes you stand out?
Yeah, so it's just what role is right for us. Um, I'm not, I can't concern with myself with what other people are giving and how I'm going to be better. I'm just going to bring my um, version of this role, and if it fits, it fits. Um, so I don't, I guess, worry too much about um, competition. I guess is that kind of what you're getting at, or?
Well, just like if someone were to say they liked your audition, what
Hmm.
would they like? Like, what stands out when they see your audition? You talked earlier about in auditions doing something to be noticed. What
Yeah.
can you do to
Mhm.
be noticed? And I'm not asking for your trade secrets. I'm just
Sure.
asking like if
Sure.
someone's watching this and they want to get to know you better, what is
Hmm.
it about you that stands out?
So if they can watch the audition and they know that character and they can see that character at home, at work, and that's not just an actor saying the lines up there, that's successful. And also, it is entertainment. It it has to be an interesting character. There are You can be completely authentic and give a authentic performance of this character, but if it's a boring character, that serves nobody. It does have to be entertaining. So I will make a character and work hard on it, come up with that character, but then I always think, okay, what's the special topping? That character has to have a special topping on it, the sprinkles or whatever um, that pushes it a little bit further. Um, and sometimes that's a physical quirk or a speech um, impediment or whatever, or um, that character, So I'll do a little something more just to give that character something.
Yeah, no, that's great. Where can people see some of your work? So I know you've done a lot of plays
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
things like that, but what about on film? Where can people see you?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the films I've done aren't out yet. I mentioned I haven't been doing this too long, and it takes, I'm surprised how long, but I understand now, a long time to get, because a lot of the talent that I work with, editors and directors, they have day jobs, and it takes hundreds of hours to edit a film. But what's available right now um, is Southern Fried Romance. We were in together. Um, that is on YouTube, right? Is that the um, and I'm a bartender in that. Not a huge role, but I really enjoyed it. Um, Great group of people to work with. Um, and also on YouTube. And Hometown, the play I was in, I just put a video on my Facebook page. They made a video of the play. The quality's not great. It's just, set camera, nobody was mic'd, and they just recorded the play. What you can is show you the emotional quality. That was a really the writer, Ashley Nicole Aldet, writer director, really did a great job. Has a really nice piece there. Um, I think Haunt House that we won the one night stand, Mason and Frederick. I think that's on YouTube. Um, Once Upon a Time in France, that play, they're still editing. So that one they filmed every show and they're editing together the best pieces. So that'll hopefully be available soon, and I'll share that on my Facebook, and I'm sure that'll be shared on other platforms. Um, and really, there's a few other films that the directors are have them in festivals and all that, but they're not really publicly available yet.
The Once Upon a Time in France. Do you speak French or have a free French accent?
No, I played Jim Morrison. Uh,
Okay.
the play is about a young American gal that goes to France. Then this is about 1990, and she just goes to have great food and get away for a little bit. And she meets this older gentleman in a restaurant and finds out Jim Morrison didn't die, that he's hiding in France.
Well, very cool. Very cool. Well,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
is there anything that you expected me to ask that I didn't ask you that you'd like to say?
good question. Let's see. Um, Maybe, the one thing I can speak to is being a new actor here in Kansas City, and I've alluded to it, but I want to say again, encourage if there's any new actors or people considering getting into the film culture here, film community in Kansas City. I encourage them to do it. Um, Come to the IFC monthly meetings, participate in some of their festivals. They will find a welcoming, warm, embracive community. Um, or if you don't want to participate, you want to watch, get out there and see some plays. Kansas City has a great community. There's great plays going on every single weekend. There's film festivals going on all the time, and local filmmakers have their shows on Facebook or YouTube. Check out the local community. We have a lot to offer.
Sounds great. Thank you. So nice to talk to you, Ron.
Hey, Kyle.
And I wish you the best. I hope to see you somewhere soon.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen, right?
Probably will. All right. See you, buddy.
All right, Kyle. See ya.